me today, Chantel. This is the Cinema Theorists podcast where we talk about movies all the time.
All the
Um,
time.
Off of the bat, this is going to be the last normalized episode of this show. We're not going to stop uploading stuff, but I'm going to gear our podcast away from talking about multiple things, in the same episode, causing it to be an hour and a half long. From this point forward, well, from next week forward, we are going to do one movie per week. We're going to review it. It's going to be probably about 30 minutes long. First half's going to be non-spoiler. Last half's going to be able to spoiler talk out the ass. And that's going to be basically our podcast.
For sure.
Make it more streamlined. Maybe more people will listen to us, especially considering next week's will be the Batman. So,
Right.
Hell yeah. But since this is the last big bonsai or whatever of this, we're going to talk about Peacemaker just a little bit because I finally got the chance to watch it. You guys probably wondered, why aren't you talking about Peacemaker? You've been talking about Book of Boba Fett. Why not this? Well, I didn't have the money for HBO Max and I didn't want to have to wait every week. So that's why I'm not talking about it in its entirety. And we're going to talk about Uncharted because that came out last week. For anyone who doesn't want to stay tuned for any of that, listen to just the next couple seconds here because I'm going to say the most controversial thing on the planet. Okay?
Oh, jeez.
I saw The Godfather tonight in Dolby Cinema. First time watching it. Never seen it before whatsoever. I don't watch a lot of old movies. I don't have access to them. That movie is considered one of the greats.
It is.
I agree with that technically. I just don't think I watched that movie that everyone else thought was great. Because I've seen so many movies that reference it, where I've taken inspiration on it, that to me it wasn't original. I mean, it is original, but I've seen it done in so many things that it just did not stand out to me, and I thought it was a boring film.
It was a little too slow.
It was a little too slow. Like I said, the acting, the cinematography for that time, I'm not saying it's a bad film because it was from 1972. I'm saying I did not sit there for 3 hours and go, I feel like I enjoyed the time that I sat here watching this. And I missed like 20 minutes of the film because the stupid snack bar was just taking forever. But nah, I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. Now let's get on to something.
But it's a classic though, man.
2.5 out of 5 because I did not enjoy it. If I thought it was a terrible film and also didn't enjoy it, that movie would have gotten a 0. But because of everything that was good about it, that I appreciate it. I didn't enjoy it. That's why I got a 2.5.
That's fair. That's fair that you appreciated it.
I'm not cinema incompetent. Cinema disabled, so to speak. But on to the better stuff. For anyone who didn't want to listen to anything else, there you go. And you can go tell your friends how much of an idiot I am. And I will thank you because views.
You'll take that L.
Yes, I will. Proudly. All right. So to Peacemaker, real quick. I do not forgive this character for killing Rick Flag in the Suicide Squad. I hated him after that point. I thought he was a joke because Peacemaker is a joke. Didn't really care for this show when it came out. I was like, why do we need a show about this guy? I mean, a prequel would have been, as a prequel, I think it would have been enjoyable. It still was enjoyable. I don't know why I'm saying that. But a sequel and him surviving, I was so pissed. I'm like, Rick Flag should have survived. This guy should have died. Don't know how he didn't, considering they talked about his clavicle being the only thing that bruised. He got shot through the neck. What are you talking about?
Right.
But that being said, I don't like the character. Even after this point, I still think he's a douchebag. But that does not mean I'm opposed to seeing more of it. Right. Because James Gunn is a hell of a director and John Cena is a funny character actor.
For sure. I feel like at first, I really didn't care about Rick Flag getting killed, but it was a shock that he got killed. Excuse me. And spoiler alert for whoever at this point haven't seen Suicide Squad. Like, come on. But the character in the Suicide Squad movie, I felt like he was pretentious, like a real big dickhead. But when we said there was going to be a show coming out, I was like, man, no way. I don't know how the hell they're going to make a show about just about Peacemaker. But then As soon as I watched the first, excuse me, as soon as I watched the first episode, I was hooked. Like I couldn't stop watching. And I'm
I
gonna say I feel like just a little bit better about Peacemaker as a character. I got you get to see him like a little bit more, learn a little bit more about him. I'm definitely looking forward to a season 2. So
I like the fact that he doesn't want to kill people anymore.
right,
By the way, spoilers. Anyway, um, but at the same time, it's like there's some things that just don't feel earned. Like he went from being a child at the beginning of episode 8 because that one chick that betrayed him, and
right,
then he goes to at the end of it going, "You're my BFF now," and it's like I don't know. If fighting with alongside somebody who tried to save your life is considered going from because I mean, granted, his other BFF is vigilante, and it's not that hard of a competition.
right.
But I thought it was a good group. I thought everyone there was hilarious. I do
Right,
think that sometimes its comedic overtone kind of overshadowed the more dramatic moments that should have felt heavier.
right,
The dance, the opening intro is just well choreographed, man. They
right.
had to have had so much fun with that.
I only watched it once on like the first episode, and then I skipped it the rest of the time.
I watched it the first episode, and then I watched it on the 8th episode after having known all these characters and being able to
Right,
point pick. I'm like, oh, that's funny. That and the song's good. James Gunn knows how to make soundtracks awesome. I've
right.
listened to multiple songs from that soundtrack multiple times. It's all right, CGI wise for a show. What'd you think?
I think it was pretty good. Like even Eagly, like Eagly,
Eagle was impressive.
right, and the butterflies. I think
I,
I mean it was an HBO show though, so
the cow was a bit weird though, but that's just because of the
like super
design.
weird, right?
Disgusting.
But I
And
feel like the CGI was pretty good for what it was.
now let me ask you a question. The big spoiler cameo in the end of the 8th episode. Do you feel like that was just unnecessary, or do you think that it was a funny thing to watch?
Um, I mean, I guess I get the humor in it. I think it was pretty funny.
I think it's funny. I think it's totally unnecessary and totally unrealistic. Because the last time that Waller was talking about the Justice League, Bruce Wayne pretty much said, if you don't shut down Task Force S, we're going to come and shut you down. I don't think they're on good terms. I don't think she could just
Right.
call the Justice League and then them show up late.
I don't I
But
don't think I don't think she was the one who called him though.
no, she is.
Really?
Who else would have called him?
I don't know. Maybe they just found out about it. I mean, they're like superheroes.
I don't know. All I know is there's only one truth to anything really in this entire show.
And what's that?
Aquaman fucks fish.
Oh, for sure. It
I'm
was
so
like they're
sick of
gonna
that
joke the
rumor.
whole thing.
Yeah, I'm so sick of that rumor. It's not a rumor. Fuck you, Barry. Like that's hilarious. I mean, it's
Yeah,
unnecessary, but it's hilarious anyway. Also, the fact that they reference so many characters within that are obscure, like Kite Man
right.
and Batmite. Like, come
Bat
on,
Mite, yeah. I was about to say mini bat.
it's just crazy. Um, I think overall the series was enjoyable. I think that I don't know. There's still a lot to go. I would like to see the next season be a little more serious, just a tad bit.
Right,
Considering the fact that now he's got to deal with his trauma and his dad's just kind of haunting him now,
right,
like that kind of stuff, and the fact that Harcourt is actually like, I guess, falling for this douchebag.
right. Which is weird.
It's weird because I think that she should have fallen for Flag, but whatever. He's dead. Also, they had to keep showing us his death, and I'm like, I don't want to see this multiple times. You're just making me remember why I dislike this character so much.
Right,
But
right.
that's my thing. I think on an enjoyability scale, I'd probably give it about an 8
Yeah,
as a TV show, mind you.
yeah. I'll give it about a 7.5 or 8.
Yeah, more enjoyable than Eternals and more character development.
Right, 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 right.
Less
Way more.
less character development than Shang-Chi, though.
Right.
I will defend that movie with my life. But that's pretty much it for the Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad, Peacemaker.
Peacemaker.
Is it for the Peacemaker?
Right. They are going to be filming another spinoff at some point soon with one of the other Task Force X characters. And I'd like to see where that goes. Because
Right.
Task Force X is now publicly known, so maybe they're going to go against Amanda Waller, even though they have bombs in their neck still. So
is Gunn like writing and directing?
he's going to write and produce the next season of Peacemaker.
Okay.
I don't know about the next spinoff, but they are doing
Right.
it.
Okay.
Going into something that's a little bit different, but not really. Uncharted, starring Spider-Man and Marky Mark from the.
Lucky Bunch.
I knew you would know that, and that's why I directed it to you. Because I'm too young for that shit.
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
I know the name. I'd say Transformers, but that's not notable enough. I'd say Boogie Nights, but that's too memorable.
Sure.
And only older demographics would understand that joke. So,
but no, I actually enjoy Uncharted way more than I thought I was.
So, for anyone who wants to kind of get into a little bit of what exactly, like, tell us a little bit about what happened the day you went and saw it. So, we saw it at 9:15 at night.
Yep.
And he was super excited for it. I was interested. I wasn't super excited. We saw it in IMAX because I don't play the games. He's played the games.
Right.
So there's that. Also, I think Nathan Fillion would have been a better one, but I understand he's like 50 years old. Can't really carry a franchise on that. Right. So we went and saw it in IMAX. I don't think he made it past maybe halfway through because it was late at night and he didn't drink Red Bull. I wasn't having any issues because I slept during the day and I enjoyed it a significant amount. I think a lot of it was somewhat predictable.
Right.
I think it's a modern take on Indiana Jones. Excuse me. And this time, instead of it being a creepy old professor who hits on his students, it's a young bartender who looks like he's not old enough to drink.
Exactly.
And steals stuff. And insults older men because they can grow facial hair and he can't.
But it was really, really enjoyable. I think it was paced really well. Of course, this is from my second viewing because I fell asleep on the first one, but I did go back and see it. I saw it the next day. But I feel like the action was paced really well. I feel like Mark Wahlberg and what is
Antonio Banderas?
Yeah, I think Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg, they like both had like chemistry. I forget what her name was. The girl that knew Mark Wahlberg, whatever her name was. I don't think she was needed.
She wasn't even a character from the game, from what I read. She's an original character.
Right. Yeah, but I don't think she was needed.
I feel like she was somewhat needed just to show the distrust.
I guess for sure.
And she had the other key. Right. The ex machina.
I mean, they could have definitely like.
Well, there's a reason. There's a reason why she is very tiny on the poster in comparison to everyone else.
Right, she doesn't have like such a big role.
Her name in the movie was Chloe Fraser, but her actual name is Sophia Taylor Alley.
Oh, okay.
I think that Antonio Banderas was a waste.
Right.
I don't think the problem is you bring Antonio Banderas because he's intimidating and you go, here you go, just to be intimidating. We don't really have a reason or a script really for you. So just give some stupid speech about something and speak very fluently Spanish and people won't understand you and just go, oh yeah, he's evil.
Right. Well, yeah.
That's nothing against Spanish culture. I'm just saying that's kind of his deal when he makes a villain.
Right. But yeah, I feel like the misdirect wasn't needed here.
I'm going to restate myself. Not Spanish culture, Hispanic culture.
Man, there you go.
I don't need to get toasted out here.
Roasted.
For actual reasons.
Right.
No, I as someone who can disconnect themselves from the games, I've seen a little bit, but not really enough to really know much of a full story. I won't say this is one of my guilty pleasures because even though it's by the same company that made Resident Evil movies, and I never played those games, and I watched the movies. I think they did a better job adapting the game to the movie
Right.
in comparison to, you know, the other franchise. I won't speak of again unless they make a sequel to the really good one that came out with.
Right. Right. I hope so.
But I definitely can't wait to see, because I mean, at this point, Uncharted's been successful enough. I think it's going to get a sequel,
Right. Right.
and
I agree.
I'd love to see that because I liked where they ended it off at. And like, oh, okay, so the next one might actually include this story of one of the games that I've never played.
Right.
And I will say there was one thing in this entire film that took me by surprise, and I loved every time it was interacted, is when he first got him that cat. He's like, "You look lonely." He's like, "I don't need a cat."
Oh, right.
Then the
Right.
next time you hear about it, he's like, "I'm texting him. He hasn't fed him. He hasn't texted me back." He's like, I don't want him. I don't want him to be hurt. Nothing." And then the last one, it's like, "What? I brought him along. You know how hard it is to get pets through pet security?" And he's just
Right.
in a backpack, and I'm like, as much as I love cats, cats are probably dogs can not be there. Honestly, I like cats more. I loved it. I was like, I didn't expect this, but I feel like there's a part of me in my back of my brain that was like, you should have known this. There was cats in the game. I feel like,
Right. Yeah.
especially that specific breed. It felt familiar, and I had never played the game, so I was like, oh no, must have seen a cat somewhere.
Yeah. The games are dope though. The games are fire.
And now, if only they could finish up the Tomb Raider sequel that
Hmm.
no one wants.
I feel like it was just like rebooted at this point.
Well, they already have the main girl reprising her role. It's just been COVID has kept it from being
Oh, okay.
released on and on and on and on again. I'm like, yeah, maybe not everything was meant to be a movie from a video game.
Right.
We saw 2 Hitman movies that were not good.
That's fair.
Then we saw 2 Tomb Raider movies before that that weren't really that great.
Right.
And then we saw Super Mario Bros. Well, I didn't see Super Mario Bros, but yeah, well,
I don't even want to talk about that movie.
Goomba. Nah, but what what can we say about Uncharted? Any final thoughts on it?
Um, I mean, I would definitely go see it again.
I'd watch it
Like I
again.
say, I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would.
Yeah, I could tell you were enjoying it the first time.
Right. For sure. Because I was knocked out.
Yeah, you're like, man, I can sleep peacefully now that I know this is good.
Right. Sure. I'm
Yeah.
about to go to sleep right after this too.
Yeah, but it's not gonna make me play the games. I can already with that, and I'm not paying $500 for an Xbox or a PS1 that
Right.
had PS5 that has, you know, that capability. But I enjoyed it enough that I'll probably go see it again at some point soon. Tom
For sure.
Holland has proven that he can be somewhat of a box office draw outside of the, you know,
MCU.
yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I'd probably give it around a enjoyable wise, I'd probably give it about a 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah, I think I would
Gold
get about a four and
gold
a half.
doubloons.
And just so you know, it's exclusive to PS5 or PlayStation.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
it's different from when I saw Assassin's Creed. When this is a shitty movie, I'm gonna go play the game now.
Yeah, I definitely didn't watch Assassin's Creed.
Oh, you should have. Then you could have realized the games were so much better because it was gonna be tied into the games universe,
Oh, okay.
and then that never happened.
Nah, 'cause the game's
7 years later.
good.
But yeah, you guys. That's that. It's a shorter episode. We're
Right.
starting it this week, but you guys got to let us know what your thoughts are on Peacemaker, whether or not you think I'm right about Godfather, which, and if you're not right with me on that, then by all means, roast me in the comments. I do not care.
Right.
And if you liked Uncharted, comment what you thought your favorite scene was. Now, you got to put spoiler warnings in the comments because it's only a week old and I don't want people spoiling things for other people in my comments. I don't care if there's I don't care, you know. Otherwise, I'm gonna dig up the treasure map and I'm gonna find your mom's booty.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm kidding. I'm gonna cut that out. But till next time, guys. We'll see you next week with the Batman.
Right, exactly. Peace.
Peace.